I want to welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for another New in the Queue product feature. My name is Lauren Figarelli, and I am a consultant at Quaint Business Solutions. Quaint is an SAP Business One provider who values excellency in customer service, as well as knowledge of the SAP B1 application. Part of what we do at Quaint is ensure we are always bringing the latest and greatest innovations in the SAP B1 space to our existing customers and potential new customers, which is what brings us here today. Today we are featuring Boyum's Usability Package, also known as B1 Up. B1 Up is an amazing tool that allows end users as yourselves to create validations, automations, or even utilize dashboards in a user-friendly way to customize your SAP B1 experience to fit your organizational needs. Our presentation today will be by Boyum's best, Rosie Coronado. So thank you, Rosie, for joining us to show us this great solution. Just a reminder to everyone, we will have a Q&A time at the end should any questions arise during the presentation. So be sure to jot down your questions or put them in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer those following the presentation. And now, Rosie, if you're ready, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Laura. It's a pleasure to be here with you again. We have worked together many, many years, and thanks for joining today. And as Lauren said, we're going to go and show you some examples about the usability package. You may have it already. If you don't, then you maybe missed out in the past, but hopefully you will get it because you can do a lot of stuff with the usability package. So the usability package has been on the market for 20 plus years, and the way it actually became an add-on to SAP Business One was that our developer was invited to the SAP office, and somebody asked him, "Gosh, I wish you could create a button here, a shortcut button to do this and that." And by then, our developer, when he got home, he's like, "Well, I probably can do that." And he did it. And then, he shared it. And then people ask him more features, and he just kept developing it. And then he's like, "Well, I might as well do an add-on." So it has been around a long time. Many, many customers use it. Thousands of customers use it. And it makes the customers' life so much easier because you can ask for features and they will be configured in a simple way. And it also makes, like Lauren, she's a consultant's life easier because she has a great tool to be a developer, and you really don't need to be a developer to use a usability package, but you can do a lot of stuff a developer would do in the backend. So it's all about customizing and putting logic in your SAP Business One. I'm a big believer you shouldn't work for the system. The system always should work for you. We want you to have the best experience with SAP Business One. It's a great tool. It's a great solution. But there's some things you want to tweak. And this is where the usability package can help you. So the way I'm going to do it today is really, I'm going to go through, I think, 10 examples or 11. I forgot. I created some examples, and I want to show you for you to get an idea what you can do with the usability package. So the first example is, of course, it's a little bit advanced, but is something if you have batch numbers or serial numbers, a huge, huge time saver. I've given this to many customers. Boyum used to do world tours before COVID. COVID kind of ruined everything, but hopefully they're going to come back. And I remember that one of the end customers, so it was an end user event I did in England, in London. And one of the end users came to me, a customer, and she said, "Rosie, please give me this. This would help me tremendously, this example, because we have batch numbers and our orders are so long, and we sit there to assign batch numbers on deliveries forever." So I showed her this solution. Basically what it is, you do a delivery and you have batch item on it. You don't want to go through this box and go one by one, which batch am I sending? You want the system to automatically assign the batches. And this is what was done with print and delivery. So if I go in here, I'm going to go to the delivery, and I'm going to pull up a customer, and I'm going to find my batch items. So mine are batch items. There we go. So in your world, if you have batch items, if you click add, it's going to tell me that I don't have dollar amount. I don't care. You get this box just like you saw on the print screen. So now I would go, I guess I go here and say, okay, it's one of this batch. This one is, I don't know. I forgot him how to do it, which is maybe a good thing. So imagine you have many, many lines. Okay, you sit there forever. So if you have the usability package and you have a logic, you look at the first in, first out, most likely. That's what's very common. You do a button here, get up, get yourself a coffee, and once you get back, it will be done. The usability package will do it for you. It will assign the oldest batch. In my case, that's how I have it configured. And like I said, you get up, do something, go to the printer, go get yourself coffee, and once you're back, it's finished. Because you can have 100 lines, 200, 100 lines. This is one of the example, is a huge time saver. So what I'm basically doing, I have the button, my configuration, go through each line and say, hey, if it's a batch item, I want you to apply the oldest batch I have available, for example. Huge time saver, great automation. The next one, this is an example just to get an idea. I used to actually work with a lot of customers and, you know, sometimes still in some offices, if it's accounts payable, if that still exists, okay, or everything is automation now, sometimes there's a lot of turnover. And when I learned SAP Business One, I was also, I'm like, oh gosh, you know, it takes pretty long to go to banking, outgoing payment, payment means, and all this stuff. So I want to have a simpler way to create a check to print. I know we don't print, well, I'm sure people still print. I don't want to go through all this, or I want to have a way, if I have to print a check really quick for a certain invoice, I want to do it and I don't want to go through banking. So now we're going to move over to, and let's see, I hope it's the right database where it still works. So I'm going to pull up an AP invoice. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up an open one. Let's see what my dates are. I'm horrible with dates, and I'm going to do this one. So I have this open AP invoice, and you know, the vendor said, hey, I'm not shipping you anything unless you pay this one invoice really quick. You send me a check, send me a copy of the check. So you do not want to go on a banking, outgoing payment, as I said, pull up, find the invoice. You just go to AP invoice, you pull up that AP invoice they want you to pay, and then you just click outgoing payment. It opens up the outgoing payment, selects the correct AP invoice they want to have open, and my crystal report is not there. I ignore this one. It's trying to print a document, and it creates the outgoing payment. Here, it's ready for you to print the checks. Okay? With one button, you are saving all those clicks to go through banking. And as I said, it will go and will choose this invoice from the whole list. If I refresh this now, you will see this will change to closed. There we go, it's closed. And then imagine maybe you have it automatically set up to print the check automatically with print and delivery, and you're ready to go. So just with one button, you can go in here, open sales orders, I said, good. AP invoice, pull up a vendor, the outgoing payment, looks for it, there we go, 528, and it creates the outgoing payment for me, okay? This is also a great time saver and automation, and I'm sorry that box you get is because I don't have my crystal report mapped for this outgoing payment. That's all this was. Okay, example 3. Oh, this is one of my favorite. And if you have seen a demo or something with me, this is something I always show because it's such a great example. Even when I do training, this is something we actually build in the training because I like it. And it's a great example for you to wrap around your head and see what I can do with the B1 usability package. So I'm validating data. So I'm going to a sales order and I'm validating. Maybe I have a user-defined field that adds up something from the sales order, or I have a column on a sales order that adds up anything you have on the sales order. On the lines, you can do because we have something called the line loop. So I can validate lines, columns of the lines in the sales order. And the way this works is like this. So now we're going to go back to the sales order. Well, we haven't been to the sales order. We have been to delivery. So I have this sales order. And you see that my screens look totally different. So all the colors and all that stuff. This is, of course, done with the usability package. All my buttons. So I'm going to get a business partner. And this is actually coming from one of my slides later too. You can put a validation in there. I have credit limits. This customer is over this credit limit. So maybe you want to stop the user. I'm like, don't put any sales orders in. They're ours. They're over the credit limit. Call him. I've seen customers that put a big stop sign down here, like stop. So you can validate. So in my case, it is really, it look at the credit limit. If I go back to the business partner, let me show you, then this is red. And watch this, if I scroll, I'm a horrible businesswoman. It's going to be all red, but it demos good. So, and if it's green, they're within the credit limit. So this is very nice for you, for your users to see this right away. But coming back to the sales order, what I really want to show you is, I'm going to take a couple of the items. And so I have this sales order. I'm a salesperson. I really don't want to think much. And I just, I don't want to go somewhere else and see how much shipping I need to charge because it depends on the quantity or maybe it depends on the total of the document whatsoever. So you can put the logic in here and do a button and click shipping. It takes it, puts a line on your document with $75 shipping in my case. That's how I have it configured. Of course, you could put it down here too. For some reason, my customers, when I used to implement, they always wanted to have it on the document. Makes sense. So, but what I'm going to do now, if I right click and I delete this row and I'm changing the quantity, I'm just changing it to, so the total quantity is over 10, but below 20, basically. I'm validating this here. So if I click shipping, same button, but it totally reacts different. Because in my configuration, I told it, hey, if the customer orders between a total between 10 and 20, they get shipping 50% off. And it's telling me as the user, I read it, oh yeah, add shipping with 50% discount. And it does add it with 50% discount. I'm going to delete it one more time. And I'm going to make it more than 20. And watch the same button, what it's doing now. Hey, the number of these documents, the items are more than 20. The customer deserves a free gift. Oh yes, add a free gift. And it adds a free gift if you see. And you see it also adds shipping for me with 100% discount because that's what you want. Because you want to show it that, hey, you didn't charge them for shipping because they ordered enough items. This is all you can automate. So you put the logic in there, you tell B1 up what to do, and you just do shortcut buttons and it helps you tremendously and makes it so much easier for your user, for the user. So that was shipping. You could have a user-defined field, as I said, and just maybe there's like wait, add all this up, put it here, then have it based on that. So it's very, very broad, very robust. Fourth example, well, that's the one we just did also. I gotta switch this around. So no available credit, put messages, put alerts, put stop signs, and you can actually stop the user. So in my case, when I did this, I didn't stop them, but you can stop the user. If they do something you don't want them to do, you're like, nope, cannot do it. And they can click wherever they want, but they cannot continue. Fifth example. Oh yeah, if you are on a sales order again or whatsoever, I should have stayed in there. You can also, you know how you look up the inventory items, you can also create a report and pull it up there. Let's go in there again. Should have stayed in here because mostly I have it set up on the sales order. So I have a sales order in here. Maybe for whatever reason, you don't want to go in here and there's the item master. We all know that. Maybe I say, hey, select top items. And I have a query and I really don't know what the logic is with this query. I wrote the rosy item, right? And you can say, okay, they're buying these items. They can actually even change the quantity here and then say select. So maybe there is items where they always order or the last 10 items they have ordered or whatsoever. So you can do a button with the report and then you can say copy it into my sales order. You also can do a crystal report if you want. If you want to look something up, I don't think I have any. I have another item report, a crystal report and look data up. And you can make sure that crystal report looks at the business partner code. So it's actually their data. So all this you can do also. So, one more before I go out of this, you can also do a button and say, hey, show me the deal of the month. So it's Christmas time. This is our special. Everybody's going to order it. I know. And it just has a button. It takes those 3 items and puts it in my sales order. So it's all about shortcut buttons. Okay. 6th example. This is the one. I'm jumping ahead here. Deal of the month. Or the other one. So I have a button. I can do more than one thing. So that's nice too. You can have a multi-button, we call it. Okay. So I just did the deal of the month. Maybe, hey, I'm in the printing industry and people always buy this printer. Not printer, the paper, let's say. And you just make a button and then it just automatically adds it to the sales order. So all this you can automate. So create those buttons, put logic in there. Everybody has logic, what the flow they do. Everybody has specials. Make it easy for the user. And you know what? When the special is over, just hide the button. You can delete it very simple or hide the button. Okay. So there we go, deal of the month, it brings it in for you. And you see on my print screen, like this one says available credit so much, and it does not say no available credit because this person on this print screen is within the credit limit. That's how it would look like if they are within the credit limit. Discount. Oh, that's one of my favorite. So this is actually, I do sometimes demos. I show this example and I have to stop to say that's what they need because it goes back to my lines. Validation, validation, validation. Make sure people don't do something you don't want them to do. Earlier, we validated the quantity field with the shipping. Here it says fee with the shipping button. But now what we are doing, so I'm going to go back to SAP. I actually leave all those in here. Now what we are doing, I have this sales order and it's the end of the year. I really want to get this deal. So I'm going to give a lot of discounts. And my manager has warned me before they don't want me to do a lot of discounts because I'm really not making any money, right? So you have the sales orders you go through. Another thing, guys, if you have a very long sales order, there's a search line and you can say, did I put this item in there? Did I put this item in there? That's very much liked by customers too. But here I'm giving discount. So now I'm going to say add. I get a box. it says, hey, you have more than 10% discount and this is not allowed. You have it on line 1, you have it on line 2, 6, and 7. And I give him the item number, I give him the item description. You can display what you want. Okay? And I warn him. I can say, yes, I want to continue. But I can also block him. And that's very simple to do. So if I go to this validation, there it is. In my case, ignore all this. You don't need to know that. But what I want to see, in my case, this is what you see. The next line has more than 10% discount. That's not allowed. And this is giving me the line number and all that stuff. Do you want to continue? But now I'm going to say, I'm going to block this event. I'm going to take this out because it doesn't make sense. Now you will see that will not have the yes and no button. Let me get out for my configuration. It should take place. So I'm going to click add again. There we go. Oh, it's still there. I gotta go out. This next time, I took this out. I have to log out and go back in. Let me do this quick. Let me do this quick. So you see that the yes and no button are gone. There we go. Okay. Oops, we need a date, of course. Oh, it's still there. I gotta see. I must have said buttons there. But you see, I don't have. Do you want to continue? It shouldn't be there. Okay.
It was
You're
just
not
the
allowed.
message type, Rosie.
It's a message type. You saw that? Yeah, because we
Yeah.
have different message types, put the buttons or not. Okay. But now they are blocked. So this is what you can do. So I can warn them and say, yeah, you really want to continue, or you be strict and they just cannot continue. Okay. And as she said, there's different messages type. Okay. Do you want to continue? This one is also, do you want to continue? And you decide what this message needs to say. Next example is inventory transfer request. So a lot of times when you sell something, you have to put an inventory transfer request because we have a shipping warehouse and it's going out from there. We have this storage warehouse, we have the shipping warehouse example. Again, instead of you going to here, you have a sales order. Now you have to go to here. You go to inventory, you go to transactions, you go to inventory transfer request. Now make copy and paste from here. No, what you can do is you do a button and you just say inventory transfer request. It copies everything over automatically and done. It even closes out the window for me. You can make it that it copies everything over and you click the add button, but why? So my inventory request is done. So you can copy data from one document to another, like I just did. It saves you tons of click and tons of time because you don't have to go find the inventory transfer request, copy everything over, and then click add. So that's also very, very popular. You go to sales orders, inventory transfer request, let the system do it for you. And you decide what it's, like I said, you said, okay, I don't want the macro to click add, then you just don't put it. You have full control. This is an example. I have it, I think, on the purchase order. This was an example a customer wanted. They wanted to have a user-defined field. And if it's a certain item is on the line, he wanted this user-defined field to switch to yes, and then it goes through authorization. If this certain item is not on the purchase order, sales order, then it doesn't go through authorization. So what you can do, I'm just going to explain it. You can do really that authorization. If it's a certain item, it will switch to yes automatically, and then your authorization window would come up. Okay, so it's available. This is actually a customer case they actually told us, they asked us to build this for them. It's pretty neat. Okay, then you always have the user-defined field here. You know it went through authorization. And then, of course, you know how authorization works, only for certain items. User-defined table handler. I know we're running out of time. Oh my gosh, I'm talking too much. User-defined table handler. Keep in mind, if you have user-defined tables, you can attach them to your menu. You can attach it to your main menu, and then you can add lines, you can remove lines, you can find lines. So much easier to edit them, to work with them, or you put it on a button. So you don't have to go up here and find those user-defined tables. That's really huge because it's not very friendly up there. Okay. And then the last one I'm going to say, then we are out anyway, is I want to tell you about our print and delivery. We have print and delivery. That's a module within the usability package. And you can automate all your printing and emailing. You never have to touch the email or print button. That's the beauty of it. You put in the logic, hey, sales orders need to be checked every hour. And if there's a new sales order, it gets emailed, or once a day, or once a month for account balances. Because you all know when you send out statements, for example, when you send out statements to your customers, the first thing they do, they say the reason they haven't paid is because you didn't send them a copy of the invoice. They never received the invoice, and you get emails, you get phone calls, and you have to export it to PDF and whatsoever. It's very, very busy. With print and delivery, you can automate all this. First of all, you don't have to create a PDF. It does it automatically. It sends it automatically. But one example I want to show you is this one. I have it in my draft folder, is this one, because everybody likes it so much. Once a month, let's say on the 25th of each month, you go and send this out automatically to your customer. So you don't have to say, I need to, today's the 25th, I have to do my statements. The customer gets an email with a grid with all the open invoices, and they get one attachment with all those open invoices, which means they will not call you, they will not email you, I need a copy of the invoice again. The reason I didn't pay, because you're sending it with it. So it's one PDF with all those open invoices. So that will save you lots of time, a lot of phone calls, lots of email entering, and so on, because you're sending it with them. And then I always say back to back, 3 days later, you send this one. Actually, let me get a better report. Those are all. You send this one, and that's our statement with our B1 app, print and delivery. This is our statement, which gives them a list of open items, everything that's red, that's past due, and what's green is not due yet. It's an old email, but it's open. So those two, I love it for print and delivery to do it once a month. But all the other documents, sales orders, air invoices, you can do once a day, every minute, every hour. So it's totally up to you to automate all your printing and emailing. Don't click on these emails and printing buttons anymore. And this is the one I just showed you with the due date reminder. And you can also, with print and delivery, you put a logic in there and say, hey, if it's the first time I'm sending something to this customer, it's the first sales quotation, I'm adding more attachments because I want to show them what else we do. Or I'm going to put an activity in the system automatically for me to follow up. Print and delivery will do all this for you. Okay. Now we can open it for question. I think we only had a half an hour, right, Lauren?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Rosie. I don't see any questions in the chat right now, but if anybody has any, feel free to pop those in there.
Are there any questions? Sorry, it went fast. I know it was only half an hour. It took a little bit too much time with others, but I hope you got a good idea what you can do, or what you want to do now.
Yes, and we love the flexibility of B1 Up and the ease of B1 Up from a consultant perspective and an end user perspective. So thank you for kind of showing us both there, Rosie. That was wonderful. Yeah. Juan, is there a question?
Yes. Hello, Rosie.
Hey.
One question. Is there any possibility to use print and delivery to send standard SAP reports?
So yes, you can. So you can use your own crystal reports. You absolutely can. We don't. We have our own statement. So we have our own print and delivery statement. We don't use SAPs because it's too complex how they wrote it. They wrote it kind of weird. But you can create. You can use your own crystal reports. Once you have print and delivery installed and enabled for certain documents, then you do not use the SBO mail anymore. Then it's print and delivery. You can choose which document, but it makes only sense to do them all because it's more user friendly. You don't have the pop-up screen and all that stuff. Yeah, you can, if you have your own crystal reports already, you can use those, of course.
Okay, thank you.
And so that's somebody else. The last example works for individual invoices. Absolutely. So you can send it, you can group it by customer. So this is what an individual email looks like. I gotta go to my drafts. There we go. This, oh, that's, no, I don't want to show you this because I had it set wrong. There we go. This is what it looks like. This is a sales order. Sorry, it's in German again. Let's do a sales quotation. So this is a sales quotation. I'm using this for all my documents, and print and delivery knows to say if it's an AP invoice, if it's a sales order, if it's a sales quotation. And you decide what the subject should say. In my case, it tells the document, what it is, the number, and the customer name. And the same I'm saying, I want it to put on the PDF. Okay.
And yes, that works independent of the SBO mailer, correct, Rosie?
Correct. Has nothing to do. And just for you guys to see how simple it is, if I go to a sales order, when you guys are printing now, if you don't have print and delivery, you click here, then you get a box, I think. It's very out there. Look at me. I click on this and you see on the bottom a blue line, and here we go. Here goes the email. It knows which form to take because I have it configured. If I need a different form than Lauren, it will know. It just goes out. And if I go to my draft emails, this email was just sent out. And I can actually pull it up. There we go. This is the one we just did. This is what it looks like. Yes, you can do individual, you can group emails by business partner. There's so many groupings in there. And really, with print and delivery, we don't get any feature requests, nothing, because it's so broad, you can do whatever you would like. Any other questions?
It looks like that's it, Rosie.
That's it. Well, good. We're a little bit over. Sorry about that. I could go on and on. You know me, Lauren, right? Because it's so great. But if there, yeah, you're in good hands with Lauren. She knows it really, really well. You see, she saw what I did wrong.
We've just been working together for so long. But yeah, I just want to thank you first and foremost, Rosie, and thank everyone for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Be sure to follow us on LinkedIn and check our email announcements for our next product feature and other great things that are going on at Quaint. Thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good day.